Hey, everybody, welcome in the building. Listen. It's Friday, it's Halloween. It's the last day in October. Now, y'all could correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. I don't know if it's every state, but I thought I read something where it's a partial resolution to this SNAP benefit. Meaning that some people will actually get their check tomorrow. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I believe I did see something about that. On a daily basis, I must look at like scan through about 30 stories easy. Easy. I'm scanning through like 30 stories easy to determine, what I'm going to talk about in trending topics. So I see stuff and I'm scanning through stuff. I can't thoroughly read all of it because I would have to stay up 24 hours out the day. But I try to bring y'all the fresh topics and the fresh news, and I kind of try to lump things together that makes sense, right? But I thought I read something like that. I hope it's so, and I hope that tomorrow these individuals get their benefits. And still in prayer, everybody, stay in prayer that the government opens back up, that everybody, some states are stepping up. Thank you, in my opinion, that the Fed judges ordered the Trump administration to consider. I thought I saw that, Savannah. Well, amen to that. Amen to that. Because we did not need total chaos. And I really hope that the government workers will begin to get paid again, because this is crazy. So anyway, I've been watching this Julio trial, and all I can say is I'm amazed at what goes on in courtrooms. Thank God for court TV and all of these different, entities that are in the courtroom and filming the exact everything for us, play by play. It's interesting. I'm learning a lot. And in this Julio case, the first defendant that is up on trial is Alicia Andrews. Okay, so it's Florida versus Alicia Andrews. And Alicia's the only female in this case. She's the only one that is fortunate she's not facing the death penalty. And she is the girlfriend of one of the other defendants that was said to actually, be one of the people that was pulling a trigger. So anyway, this young lady, she's young. She's young. She's in her 20s. She's early 20s. She's before 25. I think she's 23, right? So she's in her 20s. And it just amazes me how individuals are willing to throw their lives away for craziness. I don't know if you want to call me fortunate or unfortunate. I have never loved somebody that much that I'm going to get myself in a position where I can get in trouble for that individual. I'm going to say a no on that. Now, have I been crying and heartbroken and all that before? I absolutely have. But am I about to go down for some man? That's a no for me. 23, she wasted her whole entire life. Her whole life. And I don't know, because you can't call what these juries are going to do these days. They shock you. But it doesn't look good for her at this moment, is all I can say. And I think what's even worse, she was in the courtroom with a kiki and a ha-ha. And that's the one I showed you at first. The first couple of days in court, she was getting the face beat, putting on the lipstick. She's a beautiful girl. Beating the face, putting on a lipstick. And this tells you where our world is at. There's people in the comments talking about free Bae. She's so pretty. What does her looks have to do with the fact that this girl could possibly be a menace to society? But that's what they in the comments saying. And right now they are deliberating her case. Now, that's the part that's shocking me. It's like late at night and they sent that thing to deliberation. But yeah, the jury has the case in their hands now. I think her lawyers, if you've been watching, to me, they appear like they're inexperienced. And the closing arguments was crazy today by the defense team. I don't know what's going to happen with that girl, but I'm watching it. I'll keep you posted on, what the jury says about her. Now, let's get into tonight's topics, okay? And the title is called Losing It. I'm not quite sure what is going on with people in the world today. But I really feel like a lot of people, they're just straight losing it. Straight losing it. And I that's why I tell you, I feel like everybody, we're not meant to be alone, right? And that don't mean just because we ain't meant to be alone, that don't mean you just take any fool by your side, because that could be problematic too. I think we're meant to be around people. We're meant to hug people. We're meant to hear people say that they love us, so forth and so on. Or else you lose your mind and you go a little cuckoo. But I also think there's some people that are straight up, they're not in their right mind. And when they're not in their right mind, not saying they got to be locked up in jail, but they need to be locked up somewhere, because they don't need to be my next door neighbor and they perhaps coming around and killing me. So first, we're going to talk about these Sunburn Sisters. That was the nickname the media gave them, Sunburn Sisters. They were on a Frontier Airlines flight. The flight attendant felt they was drunk. She approached them. They went ballistic. She said, you got to get off the plane. You can't be on here drunk. But see, I'm holding these airlines accountable. Y'all got bars all throughout the airports. On every, what do they call it? The port? Because sometimes you have to go to terminal. I know in Jersey, right? You got to go to Terminal A, depending upon where you flying to or who you picking up. They got Terminal A, B, C, and D. In every single terminal, they got a bar. And then when you get on the plane, you got you a credit card, you could get you some more alcohol. So y'all mad at the people getting on the plane drunk, but y'all got bars all over the airport. Something got to give if you want the people to get up on the plane and be sober. Delta has a Sky Lounge. I bet you a lot of them do. Thank you for that today. Yeah, y'all got all of these places where y'all serve the alcohol. Then you mad when the people getting on the plane drunk. Well, they even got the spirit stores there. What they call them? They call them nips. You can buy you a little bottle this size of the different alcoholic beverages. And you wonder why the people on the plane drunk. Well, these two sisters, they call them the Sunburn Sisters. They had a good time in Orlando. They was getting on to go home, and they allegedly was drunk. The flight attendant gets into it with them. The flight attendant says that they pushed her, knocked her down on the floor. The cops talked to the sisters, talked to the flight attendant. The flight attendants had more witnesses than the sisters. The sisters get locked up. But the sisters, their family is law enforcement. So she was telling the cop, my boyfriend's a cop. This one's a cop. That one's a cop. So-and-so's a cop. Next thing you know, they was only in jail 2 days. They did some community service, paid a fine, and they went on about their business. We're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk to everybody out there, because it doesn't matter if you're a male or female. When you're in a relationship and your partner seems like they're a little off, roll with that. Roll with the fact that they're off. And leave that person alone. When you bump into crazy, you laying down with crazy, you get introduced to crazy, and crazy leaves your life, be thankful. And if they don't leave their life, you leave their life because you want to live. So we got this man who should have never been out on the streets. Why? Because he was in jail for taking somebody's life when he was younger, and on some technicality, he got out. When he got out, he did something to a girlfriend, and then he got back in, and somehow he got out. You know, so you got this man harming people, taking people's lives, and he getting out in and out of jail just like that. And we just got to go back to Diddy can't even post bond. You got to make it make sense, right? So he got out. So then now he with a girlfriend. He isolated her from her whole family. She had 2 kids before him. She gets pregnant with his baby. He told her not to have the baby, so that would mean that she would have to unalive the baby, right, by doing that procedure. Y'all know, y'all following along here. She didn't want to do it. He killed her and the baby. But no worries, because he called the cops and said, come get me, take me to jail. Yes, I did it, and no, I'm not sorry. Give me the death penalty, whatever. The problem is, though, he should have never been in the streets. And although it would never bring her back, her family needs to sue the police, the state, the town, everybody. And I hate to say this, if his mother and father still alive, sue them too for raising that nut job. We gonna talk about it. And just yesterday, we thought we saw enough and heard enough because the judge was lying about being robbed, allegedly, lying about her service in the military, and then had the nerve to send her lawyer, didn't even show up to her own proceedings. And she want to keep her job. But yeah, you got this drunk judge. She stepped down. We got this a different judge. So everybody, that's why I'm telling you, everybody's losing it. It don't matter if you got a PhD, a GED, you a high school dropout. It don't matter. Everybody's losing it. So this judge right here, she another one, like I said yesterday, you done went to undergrad, you done went to law school, you passed the bar, you made it to get a robe, and you out in these streets drinking, and she had to go to the bathroom, she pulled down her pants in public, did a tinkle, and then pull it back up, and they caught her. But you know what? I'm going to give this to her. She ain't even going to go through the nonsense. She just stepped down. She said, I'm going to step down. Here, take my robe back. Take my robe. Take the robe. Let me tell you, listen, I think everybody got vices. It's just, what vice do you have? And there definitely are some vices that are more harmful than others. Yeah, I got a vice, shopping. And every now and then I pray, please calm down. But at least my shopping vice, it ain't going to hurt nobody but me in my pockets. But when your vice is drinking, it's alcohol. When your vice is smoking, when your vice is using illegal substances, that's when it gets a little tricky because it could only not involve just yourself, but others. I feel for this drug. Because I do believe, anybody, addiction is a disease. If you ask me, and I'm not going to debate with nobody on the definition of disease, and I'm not fighting with nobody tonight. I'm not. This is just a diva thought. I feel like addiction is a disease and it should be treated no differently than somebody get a diagnosis of cancer. The doctors are going to do everything they can to try to save that person's life. Well, let's do everything we can. When we find out somebody is hooked on the substances or the alcohol, let's do everything that we can to try to save their life too, because I really don't think there's anybody who really wants to be out here falling over, pissy drunk, or so strung out on drugs, they in the street looking like a zombie. I really don't think anybody really prefers that. But sometimes when they get addicted, they get addicted. And I go back to, you got Diddy, who out of his own mouth said this is the first time he's been sober in 25 years. Addiction is a beast. And it seems like in that entertainment industry, addiction, it runs rampant, and it's sad. Very sad. Yeah, honey, we're going to pray. You know what, today we'll pray for each other. And I like to just really pray that I just always have the money to shop for the things I want. That's it. But listen, people, y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what I need in the chat, right? I need a what? I need a choo-choo Hold aboard, everybody. It is Friday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Losing It. We got the Sunburn Sisters. They speak out and say, you know, that what everybody trying to say about us ain't so. We got this man. He was scary to me. Confesses. Takes the life of his girlfriend, his unborn child, and now we got 2 kids that ain't got no mother because that maniac took her life. And we got the drunk judge. Let me bring the people in the building. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva, choo choo.
Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, 48.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Katrina. Hey, Callie.
Hey,
all right, guys. Hey, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and start. I might as well start with these Sunburn Sisters because they a piece of work. Okay, let me start there. And it's interesting to me how some people, you know, when I go through this story, you have the young lady Sona Massey who was nowhere near the cop, and the cop took her life because he felt threatened. You want to watch these sisters when I do this video? You know, when she does a demonstration to the cop, she pushes him in the chest. I said, well, ain't that special? Because if it was me, it wouldn't have went down that way. But hey, I digress. So let's continue. Let me see. Let me see. Let's do this here first. So Sunburn, New Jersey sisters. Now they not from New Jersey now. Come on now, y'all. Sunburn, New Jersey sisters denied being drunk when booted from a flight in a viral meltdown at a Florida airport. So as soon as it's finished, I'm gonna skip this and we'll take a look.
Yeah, I'm literally, I can't. I have anxiety. There's a cop here right now. That guy pushed her to the ground and she fell. We were on a plane. She had to use the bathroom. And they asked her, they go, are you intoxicated? She goes, yeah, I had a few drinks. And that was it.
Do you need medical attention?
Yeah.
Do we have any witnesses?
Nothing.
Okay.
When they informed me that she was intoxicated, I had to call a GSC, which is my supervisor. They were intoxicated.
Okay.
I felt really
Are you willing to write a statement?
I am.
I'm not trying to do anything, but Dad works in New Jersey. He's for the state PBA. Yes.
Yes, she had a few drinks.
I don't know.
And then the other girl fell. After Jose pushed her, the other girl fell. And she's like, oh, I got hurt. But I was like, are you kidding me? I watched her fake it and fall down. Like, oh, my wrist.
You're on the plane. You have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You go to the bathroom. They stop you. They
Yes.
say you need to be escorted to the bathroom.
Yes. They sent me escorted off the bathroom. Literally, like when I tell you that my boyfriend is a state trooper and that my boyfriend had literally like been with him for 5 years.
I understand.
So I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna go to to my seat because I'm like, this makes no sense. Like I'm literally not trying to give any harm. Like yes, I had a couple drinks, but like I'm not trying to give any type of harm. My whole family has been law enforcement. Like so, my dad works for the state PBA, which is the
I
police
understand that.
beneficial.
I need to please stay on track.
Okay. I went to the bathroom and they're like, no, you can't get back in your seat. And I was like, why can't I get back in my seat? Like, I don't understand. I was like, no, like, I'm fine. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm not going to get sick or anything. Then he pushed me. So I'm coming off the plane. He was like, no, you have to get off the plane.
To your chest?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so he assaulted me in that way. It was to my boobs.
Okay.
Yes.
He was just trying to get us out as fast as possible.
He was just trying to get you guys out.
At any point during the flight, did anybody put hands on the girls at any point? It was just verbal, and you was telling them to come off. So both of them put their hands at the same time on her. Okay. So both of them would be going to jail because you're willing to write a statement, and then I got another witness saying the same thing.
Why am I deceived?
I'd like to know in a second.
Why am I deceived? Okay. No,
Why are you handcuffing her?
It's the girl that faked it. That's
There's you guys that pushed her. Okay?
What? No.
You were not handcuffing my sister. I'm calling you.
No. I'm calling for you.
No, settle down. Stop. Be cool. Here, give me your phone. Give me your phone.
Take a breath.
Back up.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Stay like that. Stay cool.
All right, I'm gonna take it. Close to her.
Let's go.
I'm going my whole voice.
That's all right. You know.
I want these off. They're hurting me.
How is it hurting?
They're really hurting me. I want them off.
Okay, listen.
I want them off.
If you keep on moving, they're gonna keep on hurting.
No, they are cutting into my wrist.
They are.
Take them off!
Don't make it
Take
difficult.
them off!
No, they are.
Yeah. Okay, so 1 second. Let me see. The Sunburn Sisters who were kicked off a Frontier flight, who were kicked off a Frontier flight before they allegedly assaulted an airport employee during a drunken meltdown, claimed they were not intoxicated and did nothing wrong during the now viral incident that caused the young assembly to miss her college graduation. Kiera Lyons and Maura Flores were booted off the New Jersey-bound flight following a 3-day trip to Disney World when a flight attendant accused the sisters of being too drunk to fly at Orlando International Airport on May 15th. I was not drunk getting on the plane. I wasn't drunk either. Both of the sisters told Inside Edition during an interview released on Wednesday. Lyons, a former college field hockey player at Stockton University who suffers from celiac disease, said she was feeling unwell and went to the bathroom before takeoff. When the 22-year-old returned to her seat, a flight attendant confronted her and deemed her unable to fly. She was like, "Have you been drinking?" I was like, "Yeah, I had a couple of drinks." And she's like, "Yeah, you can't fly." The now 23-year-old said, "That's when I automatically asked for my sister." The sisters were accused of shoving one of the gate agents who was captured lying on the jet bridge floor as the siblings were removed from the flight. She pushed me and then turned around, and the other sister came up and shoved me again. When I tripped over, the unidentified gate agent told police, according to body cam footage. That's the sisters. They got arrested. The sisters disputed the story and claimed they never touched the gate agent, who had allegedly fallen on her own. Several witnesses supported the airport employee's account, and the sisters were arrested, sparking a wild meltdown in the terminal. "We didn't know what was going on," Flores said. "Why are you arresting her?" Their answer was she had more witnesses than you. Flores, a 31-year-old mother of two, became erratic as they were being questioned in the terminal and attempted to stop police from handcuffing her younger sister. "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" Flores cried as officers detained her. During the arrest, Flores continued screaming and demanded police remove her handcuffs, as she was placed in the back of a patrol car. "Take them off," she yelled while the police officer held her. The sisters were charged with battery and disorderly intoxication. They were booked in jail and bonded out 2 days later. Lyons told Lyons' time behind bars overlapped with the Stockton University graduation on May 16. "No, I did not. I did not make it to my graduation. I was still in Orange County jail while my friends were walking at graduation," Lyons said. "We aren't those people as we're being made out to be," the sister said. The misdemeanor charges against the sisters were dropped after they completed a pre-trial intervention, PTI, that included community service and a fee payment. All right, let me stop that. And I got one more video to show you. Hold on. It's entitlement because their whole family is in law enforcement. It most certainly is entitlement.
The Sunburn Sisters meltdown that went viral. The police body cam showing the two sisters fresh off a Florida vacation getting arrested at the airport. A flight attendant telling cops one of the sisters pushed her down. Now, in an Inside Edition exclusive, the sisters are telling Stephen Fabian their side of the story, what they say really happened.
Stop. They are known as the Sunburn Sisters, achieving viral notoriety after they were kicked off a plane. They were accused of knocking down the flight agent on the jet bridge. It led to an epic meltdown at Orlando International Airport. Now the sisters, Kiera Lyons and Maura Flores, are sitting down with Inside Edition to tell their side of the story.
When people say, "Oh, these girls were drunk, that's why they kicked them off," does that upset you?
Yeah. I was not drunk getting on the plane. I wasn't drunk either.
The sisters were returning to New Jersey after a 3-day trip to Disney World. Right after they boarded, the younger sister, Kiera, said she felt sick to her stomach. She suffers from celiac disease, a digestive disorder, so she went to the bathroom. Right after she returned to her seat, she says the flight attendant confronted her. 22-year-old Kira says the Frontier Airlines flight attendant apparently thought she was intoxicated.
She's like, have you been drinking? And I was like, yeah, I had a couple drinks. Like, yeah. And she's like, no, you can't fly. And I was like, what? And that's when I automatically went and asked for my sister.
Both sisters were ordered off the plane. 31-year-old Maura, a mom of two, recorded herself asking for the flight attendant's name.
Can I have a picture of your name tag?
Once off the plane, chaos ensued. They are questioned by police, and they are clearly upset.
Stop.
They were accused of knocking down the gate agent on the jet bridge.
She pushed me and then turned around, and then the sister came up and shoved me again, which I tripped over a Liz.
So both of them hit you?
Yes.
Okay.
We looked at the videotape with them.
And you're saying she fell on her own?
Oh, yeah, she fell.
Did you ever put your hands on this one?
Never.
But police believed the gate agent was pushed, and the Sunburn Sisters were taken into custody, charged with battery and disorderly intoxication.
What was going through your mind when they arrested you?
We didn't know what was going on. I'm like, why are you arresting her? And their answer was, they have more witnesses than you.
Why am I detained?
Why am I deceased?
Don't make it
The misdemeanor criminal charges were dropped after the sisters paid a fee and did community service. Kira was returning home to attend her college graduation.
Did you ever make it to your graduation?
No, I did not. I did not make it to my graduation. I was still in Orange County Jail while my friends were walking at graduation. We aren't these people that people are making us out to be.
Stop.
We reached out to Frontier Airlines and were told no comment.
In my opinion, your thoughts?
Oh, they were definitely drunk. I feel like the entitlement here is real strong because, you know, she was sitting there telling the cop, like, we got a cop family. You know, my dad is this and my boyfriend is this. So they already knew they was going to get off the hook. And if you look at the interview from the video of them at the airport, you can clearly tell that they was definitely inebriated. They didn't have none of this calmness that they had in this interview. I just feel like it's sad that she missed her graduation because she wanted to get drunk and get on a plane. And people don't realize what they do when they drunk because it takes over them. Alcohol is dangerous. It really is. People don't know how dangerous it is. It's dangerous in so many ways because it changes the people's personality. But good luck to them.
Thank you. Savannah, your thoughts?
So clearly the Halo Act didn't take in effect in this incident as it did in the mother that we covered a week or so ago that was taking her daughter to school, remember, and the cops got out and confronted her and threw her to the ground and arrested two bystanders that were filming because they violated the 25-foot Halo Act when law enforcement was trying to apprehend someone. And the other lady there is the aunt to these two women. And clearly during the interview at the Orlando airport, all three of them stated that they were drinking before they had boarded that plane. And so they were inebriated, absolutely inebriated. But the privilege of it all, where they just get to pay a fine and do a little bit of community service. However, these airlines do hold some type of responsibility here. There are plenty of free and open bars there in Orlando, almost at every gate. And I think the first line of defense should be the ticket agents, where you go and scan your ticket, and whether it's by paper or by phone. Those agents right there, I think they should hold most of the responsibility. If you can smell a passenger, if you can smell them as far as being smell alcohol on them, or if you can visibly see that a passenger is inebriated, I think you should have them step to the side and board the others, and then call a supervisor, law enforcement, or someone, and let them know, hey, you feel that this passenger may not be suited to fly suitable to fly. I think that's where airlines, that should be their first line of defense, because clearly bars are not going to go anywhere in the airports. They make a lot of money, but they also hold some type of responsibility and should keep it to a 2-drink minimum. I don't know why they needed to come back and explain their story. The agent that was on the floor had some bruising and cuts to her ankle where they had pushed her and she tripped. So she did need medical attention. And there were other flight attendants who stated that the girls physically put their hands on the flight attendant and made fun of her weight and stuff. So yeah, I'm not surprised that they just got a slap on the wrist, but it's Florida.
Katrina, your thoughts?
Hey, Diva. Hey, Pano. Hey, Chat. Yes, I think the airline holds some responsibilities to this as well. And, they're saying like the 2-drink minimum, but you can go to different bars in the airport. And I'm quite sure they don't know what this other person served them. And they look like they needed something to drink anyway, because I know their skin hurt. They burnt. I know their skin is on fire. But yet still, um, the entitlement thing, it was there, and pushing down that lady, and that lady's gonna milk that for all she know how, because baby, she didn't want to get off that floor at all. But yeah, they deserve to go to jail. But like we said, we need to hold these airports, um you know and foster these people too, because you can't bring on lotion. They take everything from you, but once you get in, you can buy all the stuff back. That's ridiculous. um yeah, they need a lesson learned, and then they had to stand up for 2 days. Yeah, they needed a lesson learned. Then they got out and then did community service whatsoever. So are they gonna be able? They're gonna have to pay this woman restitution fees or something? Because if they was charged and they was found guilty, and that woman is still going through, I guess she's still going through workman's comp or whatsoever. I would think she is, but they assaulted her. So can she sue them or get restitution from them? But either way, good luck to her and for the little spoiled brats. And they don't need to do that on May 15th no more anyway. That's my birthday. I'm the only one that can cut up on that day. But that's all I got.
Thank you. 48, your thoughts?
Hey Diva, panel chat. Okay, like I agree with what everybody says so far. I just think it's disgusting how white privilege is like prevalent in every state. Anytime that we turn on the television, they get these like this extra care in everything, and it's just annoying. And I'm just sick of it. I don't have nothing else to say. White privilege is just a mess.
Wayne, your thoughts?
It's called accountability. Ain't nobody pour them drinks down their throat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I don't blame the airline.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no, I don't blame the airline. When you got a plane full of people you have to board, you can't see any imperfections in all these people. You trying to get a flight out on time.
Okay.
The same crap they pulled there, if they had got on the plane 34,000 feet up in the air, the same thing would have happened. Because the way she popped off, demanding they take the cuffs off, all that, the same kind of stuff, it would have happened up there in the air. These people come, okay, responsibility. She knew she had a graduation to go to. Well, she should have handled her business accordingly. You should know your minimum. You go in there drinking. If you get drunk, that's your fault. Maybe they did miss you, but ultimately you drank it. And they want to get at the ticket. I've been there, and I'm talking about just working there. They come up there, if they miss the flight or after the doors are closed, they want to act like fools. Oh, you're going to put me on, open again. No, it's not happening. And I believe every word what the people said, how these women act. It was a sense of entitlement. Oh, my family is in their police officers, all this stuff. And she demanded that those handcuffs come off her. They're hurting me. They should have just sucked this up and moved on. All they got was the fine, a couple of days in jail. And so what if you missed your graduation?
Oh, shoot.
10, 15 amount of years you was in school, you would have thought you learned something. But you've learned just before your graduation that you can act the fool and go to jail just like everybody else. The same way at these Diddy parties, ain't nobody putting drugs in them. Wasn't nobody pulling them drinks down their throat. So they need to be accountability. Yeah, I messed up. I drank. I got on the plane. They put me off. Okay, a lesson learned. And move on. Worse things could have happened than that. I'm done.
Ooh, Kelly, your thoughts?
Oh, I agree. Now, how many other people were on that plane and walked past those same bars and were not drunk and doing this ratchet mess? Sorry. You know what I mean? You did it to yourself. You lucky something didn't happen to you longer. You lucky you're not on a no-fly list, to be perfectly honest.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the least I feel that could have happened to them. And, I'm kind of glad that people are, making this video go viral and shaming them, because we all know if this was two Black women, this would be used as why Black women as overall are just so horrible and bad. We can't get married. We're not good moms. We shouldn't get jobs because we act like this. However, that doesn't happen for them. This is looked at as, oh, this is a one-off. This doesn't affect the image of clear women in America, although it should. No, I don't feel bad for them at all. I don't blame nobody else for this but them. And I don't believe she was having no reaction to no gluten.
No,
yeah, you can have a little bit of a gluten intolerance, but it's rare that someone has it to that extent where they just get the runs. Girl, please. They was over there drinking and acting ratchet. And that's what it is. And knock that lady down at her job. She's been injured. People probably gonna get sued, all kind of stuff. No, I don't blame the airlines. I don't blame the bar, because how many other thousands of people walk past those bars? I usually fly Delta Comfort, where it's unlimited free alcohol, and I ain't never been drunk. Come on now.
Yeah, well, listen, but they was name dropping. My daddy a cop, this one a PBA, my boyfriend's a state trooper. Julius, your thoughts?
Oh, you want to know why they was doing all of that? Cover your ears for certain people in the chat. Y'all ready? They was letting them know, don't ask me any slick questions because I know how to put you in your place. That's why they were saying that. Now, for the mention, the lady that was pushed was an elderly white lady.
She wasn't that old.
Huh?
She wasn't that old.
Well, she wasn't old, but she was white. So this was white on white, is what I'm saying. And she knew. First, she was like in shock of the whole situation. But I'm glad those people stayed around her and was like, I seen them act the fool. This is what I seen. This is how they acted. And of course, the charges was dropped, because why would Susie and Lorraine act so crazy in public? Oh, and she was mad she missed her graduation. Boo-hoo, like Justin Timberlake say, cry me a river. If you wasn't acting so belligerent, and so, which for you to get kicked off a plane, now I don't fly, but from my knowledge, but everyone who has flown more, please correct me if I'm wrong, You have to be highly out of it and disruptive to be kicked off, which I'm pretty sure they both were. And that's why they were luckily they didn't get a permanent ban. But they was given kid gloves.
Yeah, they were. Thank you, Julius. Just before I roll into the next story, let me just say, to God be the glory. To God be the glory. These people are going to get the SNAP benefits. Amen, amen, amen. Good judges ruled that Trump administration must fund the SNAP benefits using contingency funds through the government shutdown. So to God be the glory. I'm glad to see that has happened. I thought I did see a thing on that. I know, Savannah, you told me it was a yes, and it is confirmed. So thank God the people going to get their benefits. Let me roll into the next story. This man was very disturbed, should have never been in the streets, and unfortunately he was. Here it is. So pure evil. The moment a moment double killer shouts, "I regret nothing," after stabbing pregnant partner to death when she refused abortion. The mom collapsed in a dressing gown outside her home. I'm going to play this for you. The first piece of it, there is no sound, but then sound comes in. Let me see.
Ready for afternoon tea with a twist? Step onto the Tea Around Town pink double-decker bus, overflowing.
So this part has no sound, but this is him walking around crazy outside after he had already unalived her. That's him. There's no sound yet.
I just killed someone and I need to go back to jail. Mom, I just killed a woman and I'm going back to jail.
Yeah! I don't regret nothing. Yeah? Give me the death chamber. Yeah? That's what I want. A lethal injection and put me out of my misery. Yeah? And let me just drop this job. Either way, it doesn't bother me. I'm devil's pick me. Yeah? There's a place for me now in hell. Thank you. Thank you to the kind officers. Thank you. Record this. Yeah?
Everything's cool. We're recorded in the van, sir.
I don't ever want to come up. Keep me in there. Keep me in jail. Anyway, I want my grave in a jail. Yeah? Yeah! That's me. You see my face? Yeah! Yeah! I'm a demon. Yeah! Yeah!
So that man is psychotic. He should have never been out of the jail in the first place. Let's continue. This is the moment a double killer shouts, "I regret nothing," after stabbing his pregnant partner to death because she refused an abortion. Haunting CCTV footage shows Shane March, 47, wandering the streets the night he murdered his 32-year-old girlfriend, Alana, on July 22nd last year. That is the young lady that lost her life. That is a picture of him. I'm in the chilling phone call recordings. March confesses, "I just killed someone and I need to go back to jail. Mom, I just killed a woman and I'm going back to jail." Further CCTV footage of the monster cage in the back of a police van shows the moment he boasts, "I don't effing regret nothing. Give me the death chamber. That's what I want. Give me the lethal injection. Put me out of my misery. Or just let me rot in jail. Either way, the devil's going to take me. There's a place for me in hell. Thank you to the kind officers. I don't ever want to come out. Keep me in there," he shouts. "I'm a effing demon," he continues as he laughs manically while banging on the bars. March arrest came after his victim was seen stumbling out of her flat in a dressing gown before collapsing on a grassy area. Alana, who had only just discovered she was pregnant, suffered stab wounds to her legs, abdomen, shoulder, and back. The coward was today jailed for life with a minimum of 42 years in his absence after refusing to attend court, telling prison staff it's only sentencing. Mr. Justice Maury rejected calls from Alana's family and the prosecution for a whole life order, but noted that given his age, March may never be released. The monster pleaded guilty to murder on the 7th day of his trial after forcing Alana's family to hear the harrowing details of her death. It was later revealed double killer March was convicted of murdering a 17-year-old boy in 2000. He was jailed for life at the age of 21 after stabbing Andre Demond to death in the McDonald's. March was released on license early 2013, but recalled to jail later that year after an assault on another partner. But the killer was freed again in February 2018, where he went on to target Mama to Alana. The old belly heard how Alana withdrew from friends after she started dating March as he controlled her behavior and movements. She told a pal how much March had banned her from talking to people, threw away her child's toys, and smashed the glass in her face. Alana also said they argued constantly, and that she had to answer the phone to March at all times of the day and night to tell him where she was. Tragically, two of her ex-partners, the dads of her 2 children, had passed away. Prosecutor Louise Oakley said she was vulnerable and all she wanted was to be loved. She desperately wanted to create a family environment for her 2-year-old daughter. The court was told the couple had been seeing each other for around 4 months when she found out she was pregnant. But March had threatened Alana and accused her of cheating, claiming the unborn child was not his. She showed her sister voice notes of March shouting and threatening, calling her names, saying their unborn child was not his, and telling her to get an abortion. Ms. Oakley says she admitted that she was scared of the defendant. There had plainly been physical abuse. You will hear reference to a glass smashed in her face. On July 21st, Alana messaged her sister saying March was acting up. She replied, "Oh sis, you deserve so much better, X." Alana added, can't help who you love, but he don't love any of us. Miss Oakley told jurors, little did she know that hours later she would be dead. Around midnight, neighbors heard a roll and a man saying, "I'm not letting you back in. I'm fed up with you. You always do this." Alana was standing outside in a dressing gown, crying and begging, "I don't want to kill my baby." Just hours later, she was discovered bleeding outside her home in a nightie and dressing gown and clutching her right side. Alana managed to point at March, who was standing nearby, and shout, "Shane stabbed me. He stabbed me. Help, help." The mom had suffered 19 stab wounds to her chest, stomach, pelvis, shoulders, buttocks, right arm, thighs, and lower legs. March was arrested at Crean's Cafe after he told a worker he had killed his wife and child. He later told a prison officer that he saw red and stabbed Alana with a knife from the kitchen after arguing about a pair of his trainers. Samantha of the Crown Prosecution Service says Shane March committed an unimaginable crime when he made the conscious decision to take away the life of his pregnant partner and her defenseless baby. His previous offending revealed a worrying pattern of emotional and physical abuse, and he showed no remorse when he was being arrested on suspicion of Alana's murder. March tried to suggest that he had available to him the partial defense of diminished responsibility, but we were determined to ensure he faced the full force of the law after the monstrous crimes he had committed. Every woman deserves to feel safe while living in their own home, and March betrayed his victim's trust. Tragically, Alana's family had been left without a daughter, a sister, or aunt, and her children have been left without a mother. Our thoughts today are with Alana's family and friends. This case is another terrible reminder of the devastating impact violence against women and girls have on our society. It's sad, but he should have never been in the streets. In my opinion, your thoughts?
We have to be careful what we teach our young women and our young men because first you need to love yourself. You can't look for love from somebody else without looking for it within yourself. So I don't think she was emotionally ready to be in a relationship yet. Um, Another thing is they was only together 4 months and she was, pregnant with this baby. I think you should take things slowly, especially when you have kids. You shouldn't just be jumping into a relationship where you giving up everything. And then secondly, do background checks because this fool shouldn't have been out in the first place. But she should have did her due diligence and found out that he was, unaliving people before her, and then ran the other way. I do feel like he's a demon. He said it correctly. He's a demon, and that demon monster should never be loose on the street again. He shouldn't have been loose the first time. I don't know what technicality got him out on a murder charge, but I would be suing that city, that police department, the prison, everybody, because y'all let him out. And as a result, he had two victims. So, well, you might as well say three because he took the baby too. So, you know what? This is on y'all because y'all let this monster out when he was already serving a life sentence already on the unaliving. So y'all bear the responsibility of this, and I think they should reach out to their lawyers and sue these police officers, the prison, everybody, and let him get through the cracks.
Yeah. Ooh, Savannah.
I agree completely with, in my opinion, this is a scary dude, and I think there were signs of him being um, out of control. I don't even know. That's not. I don't know what type of mental health. That's more than bipolar, or I don't know what this man is. Just pure evil, and how he got out. I I agree with in my opinion it to know that this was a young mother of a small child already, and within 4 months she was already pregnant again with this man's child. It just seems like there were signs of him not being well from the beginning, because this just isn't a one incident thing. So I'm not sure what her mindset was. Was she trying to save him, or because I didn't hear anything positive about this guy in any of the stories? And and just to know that your child, you allowed him to be around your child, that's just not good parenting and didn't make any sense. I don't know why we're wasting tax monies or the court's time. He's confessed to it. There's evidence of him doing that, doing unaliving her. So it should be straight chair, as long as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned, that's a straight chair, and stop wasting our time. This man is not going to change. He belongs locked up permanently. Unfortunately, there's no rehab here. Um, this is just sad and scary, and unfortunately she's no longer here. Her child has no mother now, because she made bad choices, didn't protect herself or her child.
Yeah, it's very sad. She actually has two children. So the one she was pregnant with would have been the third, and the two children had different fathers, and tragically, both the fathers died. So these children have no parents. It's very sad. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva. When God kicked Lucifer out of the heavens, he didn't kick him down by himself. He brought down angels as well. And this man sounds like a demon crazed fan. This man is ridiculous. And yet still we got to blame the system. You let this man out after how many times? And you barely want to let somebody out that forgot to pay a traffic ticket. But this man been on the streets time and time again doing the same thing. And I'm just surprised that woman that was with him, she didn't realize that this man was not all there. Like you didn't put that together. And I hate to say it because she's gone. But if you would unlive somebody, you can't be in my bed. You can't. No, you going about your business. I see you on the side of the street and I speak and that's it. But there's no way you would unalive these people and you think you can live my aunt no more. Mm-mm. And then look what happened to her. Look what happened to her, and for what? Because she wouldn't do an A. This is ridiculous. You should have wore a condom. Then she wouldn't have had to do it. And then come on, he a demon. Yeah, he probably gonna pull that psychotic act so he can get out of there. But they need to hold him right on in there. But that's all I got.
48.
Yeah, I agree with Katrina. I think that he should never like get out, but I'm gonna come from a different angle with the girl. I think you said she was like 21, right, Diva?
No,
Like
she was older than that. Mm-mm. And it
oh,
didn't say age because she was older than that.
okay. Well, it still isn't going to change what I'm about to say. Like in my opinion, she was right. You have to first like love yourself, and I'm gonna kind of give her grace because I don't know why if you had like a fairly decent life, why one would be like so down on their self with like feeling like they're not worth anything or that this is something that they deserve. And I'm only speaking out of experience because I was in my mid 30s when I let some stuff go. And, I just feel bad for her. I wish that it didn't happen to her, but I don't want to say like it's her fault because broken people, they may know that they're broken, but they don't know how to put themselves back together. Sometimes, you hear the same suggestions, but it might take a certain person to say it for it to click. And she just wasn't able to have that. But rest in peace to Alana and her baby. But, I do think that we should give her some grace because, like, healing is individual. Healing is like a God type thing. So, yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Wayne, your thoughts?
The sad part about this thing is that this man knew where he needed to be. He knew he needed to be in jail.
Mm-hmm.
He's begging for it. He's begging for the chair, whatever, however they can do it. I know they said something about his wife, but that was his girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
And she had other children. I mean, how you bring a man to live in your house when you have small children? I mean, I don't know how you bring people and let them, maybe they visit, but staying overnight, he could have actually done more damage if those kids were around or if the situation had been different, scenario, whatever. They could have been home and he could have done the same thing to them. This man, he is crazy. He's demonic. And he doesn't need to see the light of day. And he's begging for it. I think prior to that, he knew he needed to be in there, but they let him out again.
Mm-hmm.
I think he knew what he was capable of doing. He said, I'm a demon, I'm this, I'm that. He didn't come up with that. I don't think he just decided that when he was sitting back there. This man has had problems for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm sure, I don't think he's going to see the light of day again.
I hope not. Because they let him out too many times. Okay. Callie, your thoughts? You there, Callie? Is anybody hearing her?
I don't hear her. Is she talking?
No, Diva.
No.
Yeah. Callie, there's probably something going on with her phone. Okay. Julius, your thoughts?
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
This man is a psychotic psycho demon. And he said, I'm not a demon, but he is a psycho demon. Maybe I didn't hear correctly, but he in his taunting, it's like he laughed. Like a evil type of unapologetic laugh that we kind of hear like actors portray out of movies when they're playing like a role. But this was for real. And he had a past, and he was fine being with the devil and all of that. I'm like, well, if this psycho demon wants to be with the devil so bad, I say that I'm with Savannah. The state needs to stop wasting resources. Let him go be with his maker that he claims made him. Go ahead.
Callie, your thoughts?
Okay. Yeah, this man wanted to go back to jail. And for whatever reason, he was obsessed with the concept that he should be able to control what this woman does with her life and her body. And when he saw that did not work, he decided to unalive her. But I think he already had it in his mind that he could not integrate into society, and he wanted to go back. Why on earth this man was out in the first place, I have no idea. I don't know if were they in England, in the UK?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I don't know how their laws work over there, but I don't think that obviously that man shouldn't have been out. I mean, that's very obvious. Look what he did to this poor woman. But I do think that this is just another example of how we have now created this society, and it seems to be global, that women should just have no standards. Men just can't get it together, so just take whatever man you can get. This is not working because there are a lot of men who should be passed over because they're dangerous or they're just bums or con men or whatever that are not being passed over. And they're doing stuff like this. Where if we lived in a regular society where women still had standards and expectations, nobody would talk to this man. He probably would have still did something violent, but he wouldn't have had a girlfriend for 4 months. I don't think it's possible she didn't know why he had been locked up, but she probably knew he was locked up. And I'm sure she probably knew he was not someone that was going someplace in life. I'm pretty sure that he did not present as a stable, successful human being that she should have around her children. I'm pretty sure he didn't. But again, when you tell women, nah, your standards are too high, you should, and then you shame them for being single. So they can't even say, well, you know what, I'm gonna just chill and be single. Maybe when my kids get older, I'll date or whatever. No, you shame them for that. So this is what you get when you pretty much create this rhetoric. Like Tyler Perry said, it's okay if he can just pay the light bill. You get women talking to men like this. So I'm sorry this woman is gone. I'm not trying to victim blame because, to be perfectly honest, I don't even know how a young woman even knows any better at this point because there's nothing to tell them any better. Everything is about you not having any standards. And if this man is a bum, you should help him instead of, I don't know what his parents did, why they didn't help him, but you should just take that role on and help him stop being a bum. And if you can't do that, it's your fault. And, it's one of these stories like every day. This just so happened to be one that, you picked, but I see these stories literally on a daily basis. And it's like, who would date this man? But, nobody's being told not to date these men. I don't know. It's just sad.
It is very sad because he was beating on her and everything. It's sad, and she just thought, I think I'm a roll with 48 a little bit. I think she was desperate. I think she wanted to be loved. She had 2 kids. The fathers both died. I don't know how they died, and that matters to the story because I wonder if she just had a habit of picking bad men, so to speak. But may she rest in peace. And I pray to God that her children have a different fate than their mother and their fathers. Let me roll into the last story with the judge. Had a little bit too much to drink. And then she took a little tinkle in the streets, but I give it to her. She resigned. Let's take a listen.
Tonight on Fox 10 Investigates, a Superior Court judge abruptly resigns after an incident with police, but Yavapai County did not release details initially on what led up to the resignation.
That's where we come in. And now Prescott Police body cam footage shows the judge allegedly urinating in the street. Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum has the video, the report, the court filings, after confirming the identity of the public official.
What are we doing? This is disgusting.
It's just after 1:30 in the morning on October 4th, and the woman who just pulled up her pants, sitting on the bench, is now face to face with Prescott Police. She is Judge Pro Tempore Christine Schaff Olson. The location is known to many as Whiskey Row at Montezuma and Gurley Street, on the same block as the Courthouse Plaza where Schaff Olson works. A source who wishes to remain anonymous obtained this body cam footage, providing it to Fox 10. As the officers try to identify her, Schaff Olson's husband gets involved.
Are you her husband?
Yep.
Okay. Can you hang out over by the cab for me?
Nope. Come on.
Yeah, you can, because I'm conducting an investigation.
For what?
Because I just saw her puking and urinating, exposing herself to several people.
That wasn't her.
That's Jason Olson, the judge's husband, and also the Parks and Recreation manager for the town of Chino Valley. Police say Olson did not listen to instructions to back away, and as he's being detained, officers say he resisted arrest by tensing up his right arm before being taken to the ground.
Get your ass on the ground, dude.
I'm not doing anything.
515, we're fighting.
I'm not fighting.
Grab the cuffs.
The police report says Schaff Olson showed signs of intoxication and slurred her speech. Schaff Olson was appointed as a judge for Yavapai County Superior Court in 2023. She was a partner for her own law firm for 2 years and has been practicing law for a decade, according to her LinkedIn resume. If you listen closely, she emphasizes her official title.
Minimum, you're getting a ticket.
My name is Judge Christine Olson.
The report also says several witnesses walked by minutes earlier and waved the officer down after they saw the judge urinating.
Oh, they visiting? I have no idea. She's useless. She can't even spell her name.
We reached out to the Yavapai County Superior Court for comment. The court administrator's initial news release just days after the incident said Schaff Olson resigned to attend to personal matters. The latest statement from Yavapai County Superior Court says in part, the Superior Court is aware of the allegations against Judge Christine Schaff Olson. This information was brought to the court's attention on October 4. Judge Schaff Olson accepted full responsibility and formally submitted her resignation on Monday, October 6. To ensure coverage of her calendar, Judge Schaff Olson agreed her last day on the bench would be October 31.
All right, this is your citation. It's a misdemeanor for urinating or defecating in public, okay? So you're going to have to sign it promising to appear in court in about a month, all right? Your husband's going to be transported to the Yavapai County Jail. He'll be booked in there.
Jason Olson was cited for resisting arrest, interfering with a crime scene investigation, and obstruction of government operations. His employer, the town of Chino Valley, has not responded to our request for comment. Body cam footage shows Judge Schaff Olson struggling to sign the citation.
Nope, right here on the screen. On the screen.
Well, on the screen.
Her attorney tells Fox 10 that she had some sort of medical issue that night, which has no bearing on her performance as a judge, and he's confident that when more information comes to light in the appropriate forum, the matter will be resolved favorably. I'm Justin Lum for Fox 10 Investigates.
Yeah, they both was messed up. He told his wife, come on, that's her husband. He said, come on, that wasn't her puking or peeing, he said. Drunk judge caught with her pants down peeing in public as cops haul away interfering husband. The wild video showed a drunk Arizona judge with her pants down peeing in public with her town official husband, then wrestled to the ground while trying to prevent cops from questioning her according to officials. The county superior court judge, 42, was seen scrambling to get out of the shrubbery as cops arrived around 1:30 a.m. on October 4 in Prescott, according to the video obtained by Fox 10. Officers were called by several witnesses who showed the judge urinating in public, the police report said. This is disgusting, the responding cop told her, who was so drunk she couldn't even spell her own name, but was quick to point out that she was a judge, the affidavit said. This is unacceptable, the cop told her. Her husband, Jason Olson, the Parks and Recreation manager for the town of Chino Valley, came over to pull away his wife, repeatedly ignoring the cop's orders to leave her, the video shows. When he asked why she was being questioned, an officer replied, "Because I just saw her puking and urinating, exposing herself to several people." No, that wasn't her, the husband insisted. Jason continued trying to lead his wife away despite repeated warnings, the video showed. "I'm going to the F and throw you on the ground if you resist," the officer told him moments before doing so. "I gave you several chances and you don't want to listen. When an officer is giving you an order, you need to comply and not interfere with the investigation." While he was placed in a police cruiser and hauled away, several other officers arrived. "She has her pants completely down. I'm watching her right here. She's peeing everywhere," the initial responding officer explained to a fellow cop. "A bunch of people see. I see. She's useless. She can't even spell her name," he added. The judge was issued a citation for urinating or defecating in public. She resigned as the judge 2 days later. "My resignation comes after careful consideration of current physical, medical, and family circumstances," she said in a statement. "The community deserves and has judges who are steadfast in their commitment to serving the county. Considering current events in my life, I believe it would be difficult to honor this commitment. I have therefore decided to resign." Presiding Judge John Napper said he respected and appreciated Olson's decision to step down. Her replacement must be appointed by Chief Justice of the Arizona Supreme Court and approved by county leaders, AZ Family reported. Olson additionally self-reported herself to Arizona Commission on Judicial Conduct, which is looking into the matter. She was appointed to her role in October 2023, and her final day on the bench is Friday. Her husband was cited for resisting arrest, interfering with a crime scene investigation, and obstruction of government operations. He is due to appear in court on November the 18th. Look at the honey, Bonnie and Clyde, because her husband said, "Let's go, come on." He tried to help her. In my opinion, your thoughts?
This is disgusting. Both of them. Whole city offices, and now one of them had the public decency not to go out and be drunk like this, to the point where you can't even hold yourself and you got to go to the bathroom outside. Now, clearly, she just came out this bar wherever she was drinking it. I know they had to have some restrooms in there.
That's true.
At the very least, you could have went to the restroom before you walked out. This is crazy. I've never seen nobody do no crazy stuff like this before. They need Jesus, okay? And the husband walking up to the cops and telling them, "No, that wasn't her, and we finna go." Like, he big boy and everything. I was like, what have they been drinking? Because I've never heard of drinks giving you this kind of courage. Like, I think they was on the substances too, because this ain't just drinking. I don't know. This makes this whole town look sad, okay? Because she over the courts and he over the parks and recreation. I don't want to go to the parks or the courts in this city, okay? Not now, never. Because if these the people that they got running it, I don't want to see none of them.
Thank you, Savannah. Your thoughts?
Absolutely agree with everything, in my opinion, said. Although Diva, after seeing the story, I am glad though that she didn't get behind the wheel of a vehicle.
Yes,
and that's where I think the positive of this story is because I'm not sure if this is her first offense of being a public intoxication, but and good thing that she stepped down. But um, in the other judges' stories that we have done in the past, when they've been either caught driving under the influence or other infractions, they usually just get a public reprimand and are temporarily suspended. So she might be on a bench again in maybe a year or so, depending on how long her suspension is. But I'm just glad she didn't get behind the wheel of any vehicle or any and for the husband to come up and say, you're not seeing what you're seeing, um and to be taken down. I'm glad that that the cops also didn't go salt on him and took him down and let him know he was obstructing a interaction with law enforcement. So and she had to be two sheets to the wind for her to go ahead and pull her pants down and do all that she did in public. So I'm pretty sure she's also facing a high level of embarrassment right now. Uh, she'll probably, because she has her own law firm, she'll probably be on a bench in another 12 months or so.
Thank you, Savannah. Julius, your thoughts?
Lord, I have to say, that husband was like, nah, I'm just trying to get my baby out of here. Wait a minute. But Diva, like we said about that one judge that was out on the town partying, drinking, and then doing the fighting. We gotta have that same energy for this judge. Now you know you always have to hold yourself to account, even if after a good night on the town, you are a judge. Image and appearance is important, and there could be consequences. And here we go again.
Thank you. When I saw that, it reminded me of Karen Huger and Ray Ray when Ray Ray tried to say, "Can I give you my license?" That husband said, "Come on, no, that wasn't her. We got to go." Katrina, your thoughts?
Do you know why you said the girl? I should have been thinking that myself. Um, my thing is, if it would have been anybody else, black or whatever, they would be going to jail. They wouldn't just got no ticket. And then you left her there, knowing that she's intoxicated. And the only thing y'all did was give her a ticket. Anybody else, you would got them from addiction exposure and public intoxication. And they would went to jail. But y'all gave her a ticket and left her there. So how did she get home? Somebody, she could have fell. She could have bumped her head. Somebody could have R her. Anything could have happened. If it was anybody else, they would have been locked up. How many times you have seen people? Look what they did to what that little boy named that was walking down the street with his pants on, with his underwear on. Look what they did. He got locked up.
Little Nas X.
Yeah, he got locked up.
They claim he charged at the cops and all of that.
Okay, but mama sitting down there peeing and defecating and stuff in the streets. That's impossible. That's in public intoxication. And that's indecent exposure.
Yeah, you
And
ain't
if anybody else, I'm sorry, go ahead, Diva.
No, I said you ain't lying. I said you ain't
Yeah,
lying.
if anybody else, they've been going to jail. They wouldn't have been sitting on beach, and then you let her sign, knowing that she's intoxicated. You even said that she was intoxicated because she could barely even write her name. That's not fair. I mean, yeah, she a judge. What she probably finna do is she probably have an alcoholic problem, which I'm not. I feel sorry for her on that. I believe she's gonna go in rehab and she'll be back out. They she'll say she went got cleaned up and she'll be back out. I guarantee you. But the thing of it is, if it was anybody else, we've been locked up. That's all I got.
Callie?
Yeah, I do think this woman is an alcoholic. This woman is a 42-year-old judge, not a college student. Who at 42 years old is out doing something like this? Yeah, but at least the husband tried. He was going to go down with her. But this is crazy. And they both was out there just drinking. This lady don't need to be no judge. This woman is not responsible. Even if she do get help for her problem, she still don't need to be no judge. We have seen some of the wacky things that these judges are in these courtrooms doing. Look, you can't, to me, there need to be stricter standards. And I've said this before. We had this big election here a few years ago where we had literally multiple pages of judges, and we could not find any information about these people. We looked high and low. There was no bio, there was no background report, no criminal record report, nothing. It's just a name on a ballot. So we don't know who the heck these people are and who we're voting for unless they have done something really egregious and they've ended up in the press. That's the only way we know who these people are. So it's like anybody could be a dang judge. And that needs to change. But no, this woman is irresponsible. She does not need to be a judge. This is ridiculous. And her husband is ridiculous. He should be fired too.
Oh, honey, they was Bonnie and Clyde. Wayne.
You know, I know you have to have certain standards and stuff like this, but if this was this judge's first time getting caught or whatever, I thought you said in the beginning that she resigned or she did whatever.
She did.
Well, yeah. However, I don't know why she did, because the way we talked about the judge the other day, and we were saying how hard it is to remove somebody from the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And the other judge was stealing, lying.
Come on now.
If all this lady did was pissed on the street and was drunk and got a misdemeanor charge, and we don't know whether, I mean, they may have called and got her a ride home. You know, it's the backstory, you don't see that. But still, she ain't hurt nobody. You got a lot of people who are functioning drug addicts, alcoholics, and holding 9 to 5. And they do their jobs well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to bring the roof down on this lady. Okay, she already bad and, you know, embarrassed bad enough. Maybe this is rock bottom for her. And maybe, you know, she will get in the program. You know, we don't know the backstory of this lady's life. You know, I don't think this is her first rodeo as far as being, you know, intoxicated in public. It just may not have gone this far. But I don't think this, you know, is going to affect her ruling on people. She come in the courtroom sober, you know, I don't see it affecting ruling on people. So I'm not trying to throw this woman out to, you know, hang her out to dry. Okay, you was drunk, public, you know, you got your with your misdemeanor, you can still hold a job. And like somebody says, good thing she didn't go out driving. But she ain't hurt. The only person she hurt was herself. But another story come by and you won't even hear about this. Won't even be talking about it. It should be just fine.
Thank you, Julius.
I already went, Diva. I just had to redo my.
Oh, that's right. My thing shifted. 48. Did you talk about this already?
No, but I agree with what everybody said, so I'm gonna just say something different. I think that she's disgusting, and I think her car seats probably stink. I don't think that this is the first time she's taken a wee outside. For her to pull her pants all the way down, her bottom was touching a bench. Have you ever walked by and smelled something, been like, damn, it smells like piss, but you never know? It's because grown judges sit down and pull their pants down and take a pee-pee.
Listen, I feel bad for her. I do think she shamed herself. I think she feels embarrassed and ashamed. I really do. And I commend her for not, because, you know, it's not an easy decision when you have an employee that does something egregious to just be the one to say, okay, pull the trigger, because you got to figure out, you know, the rules and regulations behind pulling the trigger for something they did while they wasn't on the job, so to speak. So I commend her, because she knew it was going to be a distraction if everybody walked in the courtroom and said, oh my God, that was the judge that was peeing outside and got caught, or whatever the case may be. So I commend her for just going ahead and stepping down and not being a distraction in something as important as a courtroom. I feel for her, because I think,
Diva.
yes.
I don't think this was her first time. Notice they said they got the video anonymously. I believe these people in the courthouse knew she'd been doing this at the courthouse. And when they found out she did this, they released the tapes. They gave them everything so they can investigate. Somebody snitched out.
Somebody did snitch her out. And you know what though? It might have been for the greater good, because the husband didn't seem like he was that much sober either. He might have been a little bit more sober than her, but he probably wasn't that much sober either. That's why he was like, we ain't got time for this. Come on. Because in his mind too, even though he didn't say it, he probably thinking she a judge, whatever. Y'all need to go mind your business, let her go. He said that wasn't her. He said it wasn't her, which I thought was, you know, funny, but not funny. He was like, it wasn't her. And he was like telling her to come on, but she did sit there. She is not like she tried to get up and go. And it's ironic that she did not get arrested, but he did. But you know what? It probably wasn't the first rodeo. They probably saved people by not having even a husband drive on the road that night. Don't know how she got home, but it's just sad that, you know, these addictions are destroying people's lives, literally, and their livelihood and their job. You know, to get appointed to be a judge and get that robe is not easy. And just like that, you lost it. I mean, if you know that you get that pissy drunk, why don't you stay home and drink?
I was just gonna say that.
Why don't you?
I was just gonna say that. And then that's the thing too. Wayne, you know I love you, but I'm just saying, flip the script. What if that was you that was peeing and defecating on the streets and throwing up, and they would have took you to jail? Because I've seen it happen plenty of times for indecent exposure and public intoxication. They don't let them just sit there and give them no ticket. They put them in the paddy wagon and put them in the drunk tank. So I'm just saying,
I
I
put
get
you
what
on
you're
the
saying too.
registry.
Yeah, I get what you're saying too. But like I said, they put them in, they take them to jail. Let have been a normal person, they've been locked up.
Yeah, it is either way, it's sad. I feel for her. I'm gonna see how this whole thing ends up panning out. But in the meantime, y'all, drink at home, lady, please. Yeah. In the meantime, y'all know the routine. If you ain't hit that like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Choo choo choo.